So welcome back to my channel. Today, have you ever thought about how difficult it is to regulate your emotions? Have you ever had a partner where it was difficult for them to regulate their emotions? Well, I really want to talk about emotional dysregulation and how to regulate those emotions in regards to some of the women that we saw this season of Love is Blind. So if you are ready, let's get into it. I'm Denise Brady, and if you have not already and you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. You'll always know when my videos drop. You'll never miss anything. So make sure you like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video, what other topics you want to see. So let's get into it. On this season, I feel like I saw a lot of the women having their emotions get the best of them. And some of them have more obvious signs of having some emotional dysregulation. And I really want to talk about what it looks like as some of the things we saw this season. What are the signs, what are the triggers of emotional dysregulation? Now, have you ever did you even know what this means? Have you ever heard this word? So I'm gonna put the description right here on the screen so you can jot down some notes, because you got your pens, right? You got your pencils. Now, emotional dysregulation is when a person has difficulties or challenges regulating their emotions. They may feel overwhelmed, difficulty regulating irritability, mood swings, sometimes engaging in high-risk behaviors, and they just fluctuate with their emotions up and down. That's the more, I think, obvious way of seeing it. I think sometimes it's more covert, the way you see people not showing any emotions, not knowing how to show anger, frustration. So that can be a different sign, more of a covert way. And I think this season we saw some of that with Johnny. I think Johnny has some traits of, some cluster areas of psychology, maybe some access to stuff going on. And we didn't really get to see all of it because we only saw her mostly in the pods. And then we saw her at the Ponderosa, which was sidelined by Uche. But going back to emotional regulation, even with, seeing Aaliyah and how her emotions got the best of her in her situation with Uche, not knowing how to, okay, let me take a step back and recognize what I'm feeling. Let me sit in those feelings. Instead, her feelings got the best of her. It could have ruined her relationship with Uche. I'm not sure if they could have made it afterwards. But between the production being a little mischievous and her emotional intelligence and understanding how her emotions affect others, really, I think, sidelined her from the experience. Now, when we think about triggers of emotional dysregulation, we think about childhood abuse, neglect, childhood trauma, or maybe sometimes a traumatic brain injury. And so I think with some of these women, in particular, we know that Johnny had, I think, some childhood stuff relation to her mother. I think also I want to know more about Aaliyah. We didn't, Stacey we didn't see too much emotion with her, but we saw the anger side when she got irritable with some of her interactions with Izzy. I think she is someone used to kind of getting her way. She is used to having a man probably follow her or just being very hyper independent. So when she got frustrated, instead of okay, let me communicate my needs right now, she left. Okay, so that was something else we saw with the emotions and not learning how to self-soothe. When we are children, when we are babies, it's important for us to learn how to self-soothe. And that starts with infancy. Did your mother or father or caregiver pick you up when you were crying? Or did they say, let that baby cry? Okay, because oftentimes in the Black and brown communities, we hear, don't hold that baby too much, you don't spoil them. But actually, babies need love. Babies need to know that they can count on you. They can trust you to be there for them. So if you were left in the crib to cry for hours, that might be some, reasons why it's hard for you to regulate emotions. It might be why it's hard for you to mirror or hold space for other people, because that was not mirrored to you. Okay. Now, sometimes people who have, emotional dysregulation, sometimes, people who are neurodivergent, we see that a lot because sometimes not knowing how to understand when you're overstimulated. not knowing how to understand what do these emotions mean, what they look like to other people, how do I properly communicate what I'm feeling right now? And sometimes that leads to anger outbursts. Sometimes that leads to internalizing the feeling, irritability, mood swings. These are all signs of emotional dysregulation. And it all goes back to childhood. What was mirrored to you as a child? How were emotions taught to you? Did your parents mirror healthy relationships and healthy dialogue? A lot of people did not have that mirror to them. And I think one of the things that they're missing from, these Love is Blind seasons is more interactions with family. We get a glimpse, and that's only for some of these people. Kwame from last season, we didn't see a lot of his family too much. This season so far, we have not seen a lot of Izzy's family to kind of understand where did this come from? How are they showing up in the world? And how does that relate to their family? But instead, we focus on the here and now. And it could have been that some of these families don't want to be a part of the show. That's a possibility. But in order for us to maybe more understand the psychological aspect, I would like to see more of that family interaction, that family connection. I want to learn more to see why they're the people that they are today. And of course, therapy is needed. Now, there are ways to regulate your emotions, to learn how to ground yourself. Some of that grounding, what I teach my clients is, of course, you can count down to 10. Sometimes I tell people to focus on one thing in the room. See how this plant next to me? Maybe focus on the plant. What does it feel like? What does it probably smell like? Think about the different kinds of greens. That will distract your mind from these overwhelming feelings and kind of bring you down and recenter. So those are two things you can do to help you ground yourself. There's another exercise I do called the Safe Calm Place. It's an EMDR thing. Let me know if you want to learn that. I can bring you a video on that too. But I really think these women need to learn how to recenter, calm myself. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm upset. But what can I do in this moment that I have control of and not have these emotions get the best of me? Okay. Now, this is just a little brief on emotional regulation. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you got this far, make sure you like, you subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other questions you might have about regulating emotions. Do you think these women handled themselves very well when it came to emotion, or are there things that they could learn? All right, I will see you in the next video.